Hello and welcome. Today is the 18th of October 2017. My name is Derek, and let's do mainly a portfolio management video. Again, I did one yesterday, so let's do another. I got a smart cash chart on the screen to start. It's like the only one that I have going on right now that's making any kind of substantial gains for me recently, as I've recently sold this for a hair under a thousand Satoshi, even though you can't say, I guess, no, I sold it just recently within the last few hours. Okay. Therefore, I'm saying to myself, you know what? Was it a good idea to hold on to every single altcoin? Because, heck, this one was doing good. Like, I had no idea it was going to break through this level of resistance like this and have this kind of move. If you look at the numbers, you're talking about in here closer to 500 on the break, 400 on the bottom end buy, and now it's easy to sell at 800-ish. Had I knew fundamentally this was good, or if I just liked it, this would have been a place to buy, run like a bandit. And how do I know it's a place to buy? Well, one, you had lots of time to do it. Two, I want a significant leg below this level. And all right then, so let's move on forward. This is a personal portfolio chart for myself with an orange colored line and a blue colored line. And this spans about 5 weeks or such, with the earlier sessions being 1 tick per day and lately 3 to 4 ticks per day. And here, and the orange represents what my net value of Bitcoins happens to be. So over the last many days, it has been in a declining mode. And the blue represents how much of that is actually in Bitcoin. I have been, obviously, for even before I was stating I'm going to be accumulating Bitcoin, distributing altcoins, I was at that time thinking, okay, maybe I should slow it down a bit. Maybe I should consider getting back into alts. And of course, the reverse came into place. But yes, I'm increasing the Bitcoin total. But what this does is when this number gets higher, I'm going to put another chart on the screen now. And this is the percentage of my portfolio in which is allocated towards Bitcoin. And I've never, ever had this even over 60%, let alone now closer to 75% of my portfolio, as it was sometime around in here where I decided to really heavily decide to get out of the altcoins into Bitcoins. This also means that if I'm trying to gain 1% a day, which at this point is really hard to do, and Bitcoin number that is, it's extremely harder when you're only putting 1/4 of it to work, because with what I'm doing remaining, it's got to make 4% today for me to make 1% on the day. I'm learning things along the way in my rookie year, albeit, trying to figure out best different strategies, because I'm going to put another chart on the screen. And this is how many times I've increased my Bitcoin total, which includes everything. It also includes withdrawal. So I've actually done better than 13.5 times, but I've also been very tight within the withdrawals, that it's not that much higher. However, I think I've done very, very well. Well, I know I have, although I'm critical of myself. I know I could be doing a lot better, and I know there's a lot of other people that are doing better than me. There's a lot of sick profits that are available within the crypto space. Now, what I didn't want to have happen was what occurred for me back in the summer, because I was having my bankroll go down a decent amount over the months of, well, into June and all of July, which is what this time frame would represent. But you get it back, and, well, so far I haven't given much back on the retracement. That's what I look at just when you're doing your own personal research. And to me, of all of the market indexes that I look at, this is about the most important one for me, because this explains how well I'm doing within my goal in outperforming the market. And now I'm going to switch this over to the actual Bitcoin price. So I'm obviously losing in value against the dollar as everyone else is holding Bitcoin. This is the 1 minute time frame. And I was saying to myself over the last little while, do I want to get involved in selling if the price action got to, well, key leg below here? Because oftentimes what's going to happen is exactly what you see. Now, I've had nothing but poor results overall when I look at my play in betting, selling Bitcoin for Tether and buying stuff back. So when I look at stuff like that, I like to play the strongest of my positions. But you know what, though? If I miss out an opportunity, so be it. As the market continues to go lower, I think to myself right now, do I want to wait to take a move in here for a sell position? I've also seen many times on these sell-offs in Bitcoin with a lot of V-shaped formations, but then trying to predict where the bottom part of this V is can be very difficult. After all, we could be here right now informing the V, and it might not even make the V pattern, or another way of stating that when the market bottoms, it rallies really well after that point. But a lot of this is, I just, as a gambler, bettor, get a little scared that if I am to make a wager on this, it's long-term not going to be a good one. Now, I say to myself, on days like this, you have very little work to do for yourself with less alternate coins. You have the opportunity to obviously just go ahead and day trade, which one way would be selling here. Another one is looking for alternate coins, just going through charts. I really do not enjoy playing that kind of short-term game. I really, really don't. Although I probably should, I just don't like to do it. Now, what I was thinking about was just writing some stuff down. I also want to go over one of my favorite videos after I'm done talking about this, which is a video that was made about 10 years ago on YouTube. So I wrote down some notes of, I think, would be a few good topics. One, just on my regular base strategy of putting buy orders and sell orders in as I do, where you just buy low, sell high. Explain it on both a beginner and on an advanced level, because I think it's a perfect strategy for anybody who only has a little bit but enough time to manage their portfolio, which is usually daily or a few times a week. And then 1 to 2 times a month, giving yourself a decent amount of time to, of course, manage your book. Different strategies there. Arbitrage, which is another topic, and then talk about how I ran away with codes like NLC2 and Komodo with just huge, massive gains. Of course, risk reward, just talk a little bit on that. Researching, just a topic on physically doing your own research, different strategies and different ways that I like to do it. Makers versus the takers, as well as the combination of buyers, sellers, bidders, askers. A little chapter on that. Why markets go way up, why they grind lower, why your personal index, which is what I showed earlier, is the most important one for you. Profit-taking investing. When will Bitcoin bubble? Insane orders, a topic on advantage gambling, the state of fiat currency, patterns and technical analysis, and the webbot. I'm probably going to come up with some more ideas as well. And when I talk about the webbot, I'm not talking about what the webbot's saying, but how I read the webbot and how you can coincide it. And this is a perfect example within Bitcoin on how you coincide it, and I'll get into that after the topic I was talking about with my favorite video, at least for one subject on Bitcoin. And the one that I'm talking about was, I can't remember the name of it. It was made by Ian Crossland. I think it was on his original Cross Mac account, done in 2006 or 2007, where he stated a good business idea about when you're selling something, you put absolutely no price tag on it at all. And hey, what do you think it's worth? I'll take whatever it is. If you want to give me a nickel for it, if you want to give me $1, whatever, $50, it's whatever you think it's worth. And that's what I'm going to probably do within what I want to write, because I'm looking at the October 18th date, and there's really, I would rather do that than actually go out and physically trade and go on like market over market. And I don't have 6 computer screens running. I have one, albeit a good one. And here we have further on the 1 minute time frame, we've seen from this bottom, it's made a move to this 18 average. So talk a little bit about patterns. Usually it's a key area. You'd still think there's a good chance it could come up to 51.85 to 52 in the very short term, over the next few minutes. But it also means in here, after you have this type of rally holding this particular low, we'll see what happens. This is about as low as you'd want to go. And this is just a little bit of pattern analysis, a few different things that I want to go over. But I really, again, like I state, hate, detest, loathe selling Bitcoin against the dollar with the intention of buying it back. And switching to the daily, it's filling the gap, basically. I mean, this is the key previous point, this area here of probably more importance, but also the 18 average of lows is nearing. But as far as just reading what is stated about the web bot, and a lot of it is my original thoughts of it, how I think it is actually done, and because especially back when I first heard about it in 2008, 9, 2007, I was very spiritual and very much into meta science of that type of level. So I can understand a lot of what it is. And within what was stated about the bigger numbers, and there's really a couple in particular that I'm going to go over. One, which is a hair south of 7,000 for late October. And then at around 13th-ish for around late February-ish, again, ISH. Well, how does it make sense on the level of about, say, 68? Because it kind of coincides most likely with the Bitcoin Gold fork. As much as I'm not liking it, it's price that pays, and it's probably going to coincide sometime later on in the month. But as we were approaching in here, I was a little concerned that what happens if it did make this move breaking resistance, because it's pretty much going to at least 64, which is now in the ballpark of 68, which would make for the timing of the prediction to be much earlier. And don't get me, I'm expecting a lot of times the timing within it to be way off. That'd be like another thing I would be talking about within it. But any kind of move, and it looks like it's probably gonna, at least at highest, I think, touch the 18 average of lows on the daily, and that's not too far off. But you come back down in here, and it'll probably end up making that move towards the 68 handle. And I think at that point, that is when the alternate coins would do very, very well in or around there. And a lot of time, and I want to read it for, I've only read it once, but the last report that came out after reading it, and it's all about reading between the lines for me within it. And it's it's fun to do, actually. That's kind of weird, but you kind of try to, it's like a game, like you bought like a, on the crosswords, it's like a exotic style crossword, and that you would get in a newspaper. It's almost something like that, except it's of course within the crypto trading. And the price continues to decline now to 51.05. The 18 average of lows is 49.96, basically 5,000. Coincides within this level. It's interesting because I knew going down below this level this could happen. Let's put the shorter term charts up again. And as I was showing you within this 18 average, if you were looking for a spot, now technically speaking, I probably would have looked towards, after I seen the decline, that its first okay rally would have got to this key area. So you'd be looking to enter a play, you would lose because you would never enter. Now, if you entered in here, you would win. And, I was really considering basically selling short here. Probably should have, but I'm okay with it. All right, now let's take a look at what's moving, because this is what I do, and I probably should get better indicators somehow. Like I stated, I only got one computer monitor. And here we are on Coin Market Cap. I mean, the rest of these alts, for the most part, are losing even worse than Bitcoin when we're considering Litecoin, BCC, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Monero at 839 is in the exact same area pretty much. So then I'm going to look at everything in here. Click on View All. I want to adjust this price into Bitcoin because everything is going down over this hour. So the fact that whether I was in Bitcoin or a bunch, obviously Litecoin's doing worse. So if I was all in Litecoin, I'd be in worse shape, but markets go up, markets go down. And I want to sort this by the hour. And I'm going to see a lot of coins that are just joke numbers, that are probably scams, that basically don't move. I need to, and that, like, 932nd ranked YoCoin is up 116% over the last hour. Okay. They don't know what the market cap is. I need to see some bigger numbers. HTML coin, that is nothing for me there. Real. Never heard of that one. Its price, I don't want anything like 2 Satoshi either. It's got a decent enough price. What the heck was this? 48 down to 12. There's the move right in here. This is an Ether, Delta, and Gatecoin. I haven't played on that exchange. I really haven't been, although Gatecoin's got Bitcoin on it, I haven't been really much into the Ethereum. So that's one of the big reasons there. eCoin, not interested in that one. Nav is doing good. Nav is doing really good. Let's bring that chart up. And here's the 1 minute time frame, which shows after this move, 18 average highs, new high, 18 average low test, new high, 18 average low test again. It's been in this main consolidation for a while. This is the 1 minute time frame. And this is the daily time frame. And as I've stated in this before, markets go up a lot faster than they go down. So here is all of this much worth of losses that you've gotten back so far. How much further it can go up? I'd be a little concerned now looking at the fact that if you were to ask me in here, oh, where's a good selling spot? Well, where it came from. Where did it come from? Well, there was big resistance way back when, earlier this year. at around between 18 and 20, which was a level of support. And here, where are we now? We're between 18 and 20. I most certainly would not be a buyer. I would most certainly be a seller in a situation like this. Whether this is going to be a start of something good, I doubt it, but you never know. So let's continue on further. We have Primus, PST. Let's take a look at this one in here, because I don't think I've heard of this one. And this went way down, so doesn't look too exciting. Good buy opportunity down here. I have never even heard of Gate.io. I've heard of Btear. Again, those are places not trading. Radium Rads, that's a Bittrex code. It's up 10% for the last hour, 30% for the day. So let's bring up the Rads chart. And in this daily chart, I would be very cognizant and cautious about this one. And maybe we might get some sort of reverse V formation along the way. But just a few days ago, the market did the same thing. It rallied to this point, came back down. There was a situation on a sell-off in here where that happened. Not as a lot of other codes I've seen really bad situations where you see a lot of lines. I guess that might make a good book topic. And that's when a lot of the buys and sells just are rejected, which then would show how valuable it would be to place the buy and sell orders in those places. But not so much within this. This market is in a downtrend. If it does have continuation, markets oftentimes come back to where they come from, and it's not there yet. Where they came from is in this area in here between 10 and 11.5. But that doesn't mean we're also at an 18 average resistance test. You know, I don't really want part of these coins anyway. I'd rather like do stuff like write or just watch TV, but that's kind of boring. Hockey is a nighttime thing, and it's like 10:30 in the morning as I'm doing this. But let's see what else there is. Again, I'm only looking for these 1,000 numbers. ODN. If I haven't heard of it, I don't even want to look at it. Leo coin. I've never heard of that. I don't think I've heard of that. I should have, but I haven't. I'm not going to look any further. Numer. NMR. Let's pop that one up. And this is a daily chart. And to be dishonest, this chart is in a secular, beautiful bull market. The buyers are in complete control. And I say that because someone will say in conversation, oh, to be honest, I think blah, 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 blah. But they never say to be dishonest. Anyway, this thing is, I could never buy any of this. I don't know how much lower it could go. I still think that the buying opportunity for alts is in here. And there's really no play, I think, for me here. And I seriously might be best opt now to see which coins are doing the worst. And then maybe there might be a buying opportunity on the cheap. Same thing, I only want these bigger numbers. I only want coins that I know. Basically, it's got to be on Poloniex, Bittrex, or Crotopia. If it's not at any of those sites, I don't want it. I mean, Syndicator. Never heard of that one. Zycoin, I've heard of, but I don't think I've ever traded it. Well, nothing is down more than 10% in the hour of any notification. Lampix, never heard of. Ad token, I have heard of. I don't think I've ever traded it. I think it's even on Bittrex. Let's pop it up. And I really want no part of it. If we look at it in here, if you want something that you think you want to buy when it's cheap, well, at this stage, you had a noticeable support level at the line that I've drawn in. So you'd, if anything, maybe wait for a significant leg lower. Well, that's happened, and there's already been a sell opportunity. So my rule of thinking and playing something in a bear market is I want to play and buy when I think it's had a good leg lower from previous support, and then sell to an area in which it came from. So in a situation here, had I bought the break of support in here, I would have sold it probably right around here. Even though it came up here, I would have probably put an order in for around 900, maybe even up to 1,000, but definitely not closer to the 12. And I wouldn't buy now until there's a significant leg below here if I were to play the game. Let's look at some other codes. Monaco was down 7.4, but I don't think I've even ever traded that, to be honest there. I'm saying that. Interesting part of speech. MoneyCoin, I've traded that a little bit. And I always wonder who's the boss when I look at this code, but this is an easy setup now. You buy around 33, 30. That's what I would do if I was to speculate on a play. You have this big pump, falls back down to here in a market where alts aren't doing so well. I think they're going to get going later on, as I've stated, making further downward pressure more likely. And then you follow that rally up with red down, red down, red down. Eek, yeah. So I think there's a decent chance we might test this level. Whether this becomes a good buying opportunity, that's not necessarily guaranteed, but oftentimes it is both bullishly and bearishly. Bullishly, it's obvious because it's just going to make it slow and go way higher. But bearishly, it means that you're going to, well, situation like in here, you buy here and you sell in here, and then that's how the game works. Let's see what else we can find. SLS, I think I've heard it, but I've never traded it. AGRS, I might have had a couple plays in the past on that. Not going to dive into that. ABY, I sold a bunch of that last night. Let's take a look at it. And the TradingView site has a hard time handling logarithmic charts within that 100 handle Satoshi number, but that's not important for this. And the reason why I sold, as we can see, it looks like the support level's given in. So, and this is not enthusiastic on a bullish side, today's action, to see it rally a little bit and now fall back to this lower end. This should probably continue to go lower. Storage, I haven't traded that in a long time. Stratus, let's take a look at that. And this is in a full-fledged bear market as well, like many of the other ones. This action right up to this area in here and the 18 average is going to be very important on the bullish level to hold this previous congested area of the previous few days. I'm going to be very cautious that it's going to be able to do such, and it needs to get above this 18 average to even attempt to move this thing in a bullish trend. In the previous attempts before, back in July, did fail. Like a lot of these codes are down so much. At some point, a great buying opportunity. I just don't think it's yet. And I'll just look maybe one or two more and then go to the Bitcoin chart. I remember someone asked for Internet of People a while back, and I don't think I showed it. So I'll do that, then go to Bitcoin and end the video. And this is a case in which, after having this big move, now altcoins going down. If it's good, so be it. It's going to keep going lower. That's what markets will do within these kinds of behaviors. People selling on fear and just knowledge of the fact it's not time to go long yet. And this little area of support, if it's going to break through here, you'd expect a significant leg. Quite frankly, you'd have to consider previous resistance around the 20,000 handle. And it's starting to go a little bit higher on this 1 minute time frame from the 5100 rally up to 2%. So not great movement for volatility compared to altcoins. And I was just thinking, it's been a long time since I've seen the Bitcoin price and the Brazilian real, which I showed many months ago. So I'm going to take a look at that now because I haven't seen it in a long time. And it's a very interesting one to say the least. This flash move to the upside was when Bitcoin was 3,000 US dollars. This move was when Bitcoin reached 5,000 US dollars, and of course this most recent one reaching close to 6. A little bit of a variant difference amongst the two. The big moves that I was mentioning, even in here, have pretty much come to a halt. You can see this one in here, but this one here, how much lower than market value did it go? So I look at this and I say, okay, this market went below these lows after they were already priced way too high. Was there a good buying opportunity in here? Yeah, maybe. All right, then I'm going to end the video now. It's been going on a little over a half hour. I don't even know if I can upload this long. I guess I'll find out. Take care. Bye-bye.